I believe that it is safe to acknowledge that I have a problem. Hello and welcome to every single diecast I own. I did a video like this about 2.5, 3 years ago, but I've gotten more diecasts since then. So let's jump straight into it, because I tried this earlier and the video was over 30 minutes long. So, going to be reviewing these as quickly as I can. Starting off over here, Martin Truex Jr. Really like that number 1 COT car. It's still in decent shape, actually. And then his Patriotic car looks really good. This Ty Gibbs custom is actually a 2022 Auto Trader Martin Truex Jr., which is why it's over there. Then I've got the 2 Jamie McMurray cars right there. Got a pretty cool entry of Kurt Busch diecast, including his Jumpman win at Kansas. Got Ross Chastain there, including a winning truck. Rusty Wallace over here in the 2 cars. I don't really have anywhere to stand in my room, so I'm shaking around a little bit. Brad Keselowski's got a pretty good collection over here, although I do wish I had more RFK entries. Those cars look amazing. And then there's also one custom number 12 down here. Austin Cindric's got a short little lineup. That middle 33 was going to be turned into a custom, but I never really did that. One Dale Earnhardt number 3. The other Dale Earnhardt number 3 I used to have turned into this Kevin Harvick custom. I've got 3 Austin Dillon cars over here. I really like that Cheerios paint scheme, although his Bass Pro Shops are never too bad. I've got a lot of Kevin Harvicks over here, but most notably about Kevin Harvick, I have a lot of Hunt Brother pizza schemes. Not really sure why I have so many. The only one I'm missing is a Ford Fusion Hunt Brother pizza scheme, but to be completely honest, I don't even know if he ran one of those. We've got 2 number 5s here of Rusty Wallace. Ricky Rudd. I'm an idiot. Ricky Rudd and Terry Labonte. Then we've got 5 Mark Martin schemes down here. I really love that GoDaddy COT scheme. Casey Kane, we've got a couple of schemes over here. Kyle Larson, of course, we have his next-gen entry now, and I really love that 2021 Nations Guard scheme. That is one of my favorites that I have of him. Bill Elliott, I've got 4 schemes here. 2 of them are, like, legit, and then one of them's a Busch Series entry, and one of them's a garbage McDonald's Gold car. Matt Kenseth just added his Christmas car scheme, so he'll be in the Christmas Cup next year. And then also, he has a COT number 17, which I love, as my dogs decide to start barking. The second most amount of diecast I have of any driver is Ryan Newman, which I love this collection. I smashed this one under a door when I was like 5 years old, and I still cry about it today. This one's just a Hot Wheels entry, but it is a super cool looking car. Got a lot of his schemes here. I really love that Tornadoes entry, and then I made the custom Throwback 51 scheme because Lionel hasn't released it yet, and I desperately wanted one. Josh Wise number 7 Xfinity car. Not really sure why I have this one. Got 3 Corey LaJoie schemes, that middle one being a custom. Then I have a couple, as I almost fall into one of my stop motion tracks. Ow. I have a couple of Dale Earnhardt schemes, including a full Budweiser scheme of his, so I don't have to keep using the baby censored one. Then a couple of his 88s, his iRacing scheme, a Xfinity scheme, and a Busch Series scheme when he drove the 31 car for a little while. Working all the way back over to this side of the room, I've got 2 Tyler Reddicks down there, a Daniel Hemrick 187 for some reason, a couple of William Byrons, including an Xfinity scheme from him, and his throwback to the Flames Jeff Gordon scheme. We have quite a few Chase Elliott's here, including a championship-winning diecast, which I actually think is a pretty cool one that I have. I haven't really shown that off very much. I have a Danica Patrick scheme here, alongside her Christmas Cup entry, which is just the 2010 COT car. We've got a couple of Almirola's here, including his new Gen 7 car. Then we've got quite a few Denny Hamlin schemes here, including his Christmas Cup entry, which is just the 2011 COT Christmas scheme. And then the most amount of diecast that I have of any driver is Ryan Blaney. All but 2 of his 164s are over here. The others you'll see later. That 21 Virginia Tech scheme was a steal. I'm not gonna lie, I can't believe I was able to find that one. I have a playoff Richmond water heater scheme. The Kobe Bryant car is beautiful. 2021 Daytona 500 winning, not Daytona 500, Daytona Summer Race car. Then my favorite all-time paint scheme of the Pennzoil with the neon number. I love that car. Then that's not technically his Coke 600 winning scheme from this year, but it's the same scheme, it's just not the race win diecast. And then still boxed is the Alkaline Body Armor Water. I've got a single KC Mears scheme here, 2 Ty Dillons, a couple of Tony Stewarts, including a pretty new Christmas Cup entry for Tony Stewart. And actually on the bottom of that throwback Stewart scheme is cardboard, because I broke it off the stand when getting that scheme. I am in the strangest position ever trying to show off these cars right now. Got a couple Clint Boyers. Really love that 14 Peak coolant scheme. Then a couple Chase Briscoes there. The Ford Performance is great. Couple Michael Waltrips over here. Ryan Preece, of course, 2022. Couple Greg Biffles, including one of the worst diecast of all time, that Gen 6 Greg Biffle car, but I kind of love it. AJ Allmendinger's Indy Road Course win. A couple Darrell Waltrips over here. That new one, that one in the middle is pretty new in my collection. More Ricky Stenhouse Jr. cars than I care to admit I have, including 2 187s, which is pretty odd, as I once again have to throw myself across the room, changing positions, because there's nowhere to stand. It's all diecast. 2 of my favorite schemes of all time, honestly, and when I said favorite scheme of all time earlier, that was just for Ryan Blaney. This 17 Sunny D scheme, and honestly Chris Buescher's 2022 Charlotte Flip scheme. So beautiful. I love the Chris Buescher diecast that I have. I have a couple Bobby Labonte's. Kyle Busch, I have a Christmas Cup scheme for him now, so he'll be in the Christmas Cup this upcoming year. And then, I don't know why this gap is there, I have a lot of the other Candyman schemes, including a custom Monster Energy scheme that I have for some reason, which is funny now that he has Rowdy Energy. So we continue on down the Rowdy line. Then there's 5 Carl Edwards schemes that I've had kind of forever. A couple Christopher Bells, which I love, the 2021 DeWalt. Then I have Cale Yarborough, 21 and the 27. I have 3 other 21 schemes, which are, I don't know who the Air Force one is actually. It's 2006. I kind of forget that driver. Then I have Matt Benedetto and Harrison Burton over there. We come over here now. I've got a lot of Joey Logano diecast, including my only shiny diecast, only liquid diecast that my girlfriend found for me, actually. And then I also have a Las Vegas winners diecast for Joey Logano as well. I've got a couple Bubba Wallace schemes. I really love the Dr. Pepper 23, and then of course the Air Force cars always go pretty hard. Got a lot of Jeff Gordon schemes too, including some notables would be a Jeff Gordon Midget, a Jeff Gordon custom of his Phoenix 2015 car, his fall Phoenix race, but I never actually colored it blue. I just kind of forgot to. And then I have his iRacing car as well, as in addition to a Chase Elliott 24 Ever combo with Jeff Gordon, which I think is pretty cool. Got 2 front row cars here, Michael McDowell's Daytona 500 win and Todd Gilliland's scheme from 2022. Got 3 Cole Custer schemes, including his winning ride from Kentucky, which I was actually in the car moving to Pennsylvania when that happened. So that was a pretty cool one to add to my collection. A Kyle Petty Mellow Yellow scheme that I always confuse with the Days of Thunder schemes for whatever reason. The 3 Richard Petty schemes I've been rocking with forever for NASCAR Legend Series use. 3 Eric Jones cars. I really love this Air Force one, the Special Warfare Air Force car. And then his Tide rides are pretty good, although PTC mold still sucks. Dale Jarrett, I've got 3 pretty good looking cars for him. Got quite a few Jimmy Johnsons. This, I think this was, it's a winning scheme, 2008. You can see the confetti on the nose, but I couldn't tell you what race it was from. Then the rest of the Jimmy Johnson schemes I have are pretty great. I really love the 7-time champion honors scheme down there at the end. And then Alex Bowman has a couple of great schemes, most notably his purple 48 from 2021 I really like. Getting towards the end of the NASCARs here, we have Kaz Grala and the Money Team Machine. We have Noah Gragson and the beautiful Wendy's car, Josh Bilicki, Kimi Räikkönen, and then Daniel Suarez. Gotta love that Tootsie scheme, just oddly pink in a sea of mostly like reds, yellows, and oranges and blues. Then we've got all of the next-gen test cars. I love each and every one of these. I'm so happy I was able to get all of them. I have 8 MLB NASCAR diecast, which are pretty strange. They have some pretty severe paint damage from an old storage system, unfortunately, but I still love all those cars. We have a completely blank truck that used to be Grant Enfinger, I believe, but was going to be turned into an App State custom diecast, but never ended up working out. I have the 75th anniversary NASCAR scheme, of course, a diecast from every single race I've ever attended, except for, I believe, 2011 Charlotte. I think that maybe the Coke 600, although I can't remember. It's the one where Jimmy Johnson had the really weird crash at the outside wall and Ryan Newman drove a cookie paint scheme. So yeah, 2009 Coke 600, 2019 Daytona 500, 2019 Roval 400, 2021 Dover. Of course, it was because of the pandemic. It's the 2020 logo on the car, but it's 2021 Dover when Hendrick swept. 2021 Talladega is where I got this Geico 500 car from, which is the race I met Corey LaJoie, so that's pretty cool. 2022, Martinsville, so this is the Ross Chastain diecast, the one where he, or the diecast of the race Ross Chastain became famous with the wall ride incident, and what is my most viewed video on YouTube, actually. And then the 2023 Bristol Dirt Food City diecast. I have some miscellaneous NASCAR logo diecast there that are pretty beat up, some customs that never got fully finished, my emergency crew for most stop motion races, most of the pace cars that I use for stop motion races, including the Christmas Cup pace car, some Dallara IndyCar Hot Wheel chassis. I just randomly have some really crappy open wheel cars, some cars that actually go on a keychain, which I might start using, a AMG Hot Wheel car that was actually of really good quality, a couple of Porsche, including a Formula E Gen 3 diecast, which I actually really like. Ford versus Ferrari with the Ford GT, and I can't remember what Ferrari that is. Of course, the Lugnut Cup on top of the signature Lugnut Cup Victory Lane stand, which is just a Racing Champions diecast stand. A little wood piece from VIR. 3 sprint cars that I have wanted to do a stop motion with. I haven't done it yet, but that might come someday. More Racing Champions stands. A stand for what was the 94 McDonald's Bill Elliott scheme. 3 cars from North Carolina Aquarium that I at one point made a stop motion of, but I honestly haven't been able to find it. I might try to find it one day. We've got the hauler for that without the hauler bed, unfortunately. 2 little garbage plastic cars, a couple of cars from the movie Cars, the Octane, of course, from Rocket League, and a little weird motorcycle thing over there. Just some generic Hot Wheels over here that I have and like. Some of them are pretty beat up, some of them are in decent condition. These are all super beat up. I think most of these I just found. I didn't even buy them. I just found them like in the sand at a beach. Some MotoGP bikes that I've had for a long time, actually. I got them at Laguna Seca a couple years ago. I haven't really done anything with them, though. I have a lot of airplane diecast as well, actually. I used to have more, I feel like, but I have a couple of Boeing 747s, including an aircraft carrier, and the, whatever it's called when the president's in it, Air Force One, a diecast. A couple of old United diecasts with the rear wings missing on quite a few of them. U.S. Airways, a couple Deltas, 3 smaller American Airlines, another just generic 747, my bad. Concorde taxi over there, New York taxi cab for whatever reason. And now the last 2 164 Ryan Blaney diecasts I have, complete with their haulers. 2020 Daytona July race. I love that paint scheme. I have a 124 of that as well. And then 2020 body armor, complete with hauler. I've got some Pinewood Derby cars over here. This one specifically was signed by Ryan Newman back in Vegas in 2011, I believe, which was pretty cool. I have some Lego cars, like some Speed Champion stuff. I have that NASCAR Camaro, and I have the new NASCAR Lego set as well, the 75th anniversary Lego set. I just haven't built it yet. A couple more Lego diecast, ceramic car that I made at one point. A really old stand of a car that I don't know what it is. The old Victory Lane for the Season 2 championship race at Monster Energy Motor Speedway. I still have that wrapped up. There are 3 cars that sit on my desk right now. One of them is a Nissan sports car. 2 of them are Corvettes, or at least Chevys. I have another Blaney hauler that does not have a diecast with it, unfortunately. I have 2 just nice cars that I found at Walmart in their diecast selection, a Hemi and a Ford Fairlane, which was used for a pace car at one point. And then I have the 124s, of course, Ryan Blaney's from 2020 Daytona Fall, a 2020 Ryan Newman diecast signed by Ryan Newman, which was a birthday present. And then the two cars that I've had here the longest are the 48 and the 44. I used to play with those all the time when I was super little. And then the two diecast in the middle I got for super cheap at Pensacola when I went to Five Flags for the SRX a couple years ago. Oh, and then there's this little remote controlled thing that drives around. It's like 1/64 scale. But anyways, that is all of the diecast I own. It took 15 minutes even going through it fast, but that's okay. I hope you all enjoyed. Again, first time in like 3 years I've made an update on this. Now it's time to choose which of these cars come to college with me for stop motion filming up there. I'm out of breath from leaning over my room because there's no floor space anymore, only diecast. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and I hope you all have a good night.